What do you call me for, you dumb motherfucker?
And that was a grab from my pal and collaborator David Perry's new beat, new joint, Left Coast. Appropriate in that he sampled that intro from an earlier Gray Zone episode in which we played for you some Heidi Fleiss wiretap tapes. I'm honored. And you're in the Gray Zone. Season 3, Episode 1. A pal of mine asked me, what makes 6 episodes qualify as a season? Good question. I don't know, but I guess I'm taking the cue from the crime show docu-series that I yak on from time to time. You know, the ones that litter the Reels channel and Discovery ID, The Price of Fame, Rich and Acquitted, Rich and Reckless, Celebrity Water Sports. They all run 6 episodes. So why not the Gray Zone? I'm here with Radio Titan Carl Kozlowski.
Howdy.
And Dr. David Robinson is on the dials.
Twiddling the knobs.
Oh, boy.
What do you guys think? Do 6 episodes a season make?
It sounds good to me. Like you're, I need to think that puts me at about 50 seasons on a couple of things I've done for years. But yeah, that sounds good.
Right on.
It works for the BBC. I'm not going to complain.
I'll just read right off my arm here. Suicide by media can take a lifetime.
Wow.
Well, this is listener-supported podcasting. No advertisements, no censorship. And if you can dig that, dig into your pockets and ship me off some shekels. Mark Ebner 59 at gmail.com for PayPal. Venmo the same. Or you can subscribe to the show on Patreon. That'd be patreon.com/Mark Ebner. Every dollar you send goes directly into the show. So become an executive producer now by hitting me up on PayPal. Thanks. So I rounded out season 2 last week with the art show and news of my encounter with one 40-year-old dark side of the New York City art world dweller, Heli Namad. This is the guy who just last week was released from federal probation after serving less than half his 1 year and 1 day sentence at Otisville Federal Prison in New York State for financing a high-stakes/high-profile gambling ring along with his Russian pals over the years. Heli Namad, it turns out, was banking a sports betting ring and funneling money from his art hoarder father, David Namad's, offshore accounts into poker princess Molly Bloom's big game, the star-studded basis for her book and subsequent motion picture, Molly's Game. Now, Heli was facing close to 100 years in prison, and he got 1 year and a day for his crimes. Like I said to him in New York, Heli, you, sir, have the best lawyer in the world. And that attorney would be Ben Brafman, who incidentally is now defending Harvey Weinstein on multiple rape charges in New York. This could be the case that bites Ben Brafman in the ass. Did you see the perp walk, the Weinstein perp walk?
You know, there were 2, right? Because there's one going into the jail, into the precinct.
Right. It's the same one, in and out.
Yeah. He goes in looking solemn, but carrying 3 books for some reason. People found that weird.
Well, did you know that he had propped up, when the books he had propped
Bible,
up.
right?
One of those books was sometime Radio Titan, Erica Schickel's late father Richard Schickel's bio on
Wow.
Elia Kazan.
Weird.
Yeah.
What was the meaning of that in regards
It
to
was
his
just
end?
like, I'm a martyr, like Elia was. You know, what was Elia's claim to fame? He refused to name names.
Yeah, for HUAC, for the House Un-American Committee.
Yeah, and he got blacklisted.
Oh no, he named names. I thought that's why, because Hollywood would love him if he didn't name names. I think he was one who named.
Oh,
right.
Well, that's weird.
I'll double check, but I really thought
you
it
know
was that.
what? You know what? It doesn't matter. Obviously, he's trying to martyr himself in that situation, and the quote heard round the world. I forget which oracle it was, but the quote was about him bringing books into the precinct. You can't turn pages in handcuffs.
Exactly. What a dumbass.
You rapist.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was investigating the big game that Heli Namad wound up putting money of dubious provenance behind back in 2011. I was scribbling for Playboy magazine. You know what? I got some movie trivia here for you. All right? You guys, this is it. What actor, what movie? Listen, here's the thing. If you can't spot the sucker in your first half hour at the table, then you are the sucker. Who is it?
Is that from Rounders?
Bingo.
Hey.
Wow, good for you. By the way,
Who
Kazan
was
did
the
name
actor?
names, just letting you know.
Who was the actor who said that?
David?
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the first line in Rounders.
Huh.
Listen, here's the thing. If you can't spot the sucker in your first half hour at the table, then you are the sucker. Hey, what'd you say about Elio? What did you
He did name names. It's flat out. First thing that came up, I said, did he testify as is the director who named names?
Oh, boy.
So that's why Hollywood was hating on him.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Weinstein to pick that, kind of a strange thing for a allegedly progressive guy.
Yeah, that is strange. So, a high-stakes floating poker game starring Tobey Maguire, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and a wealth of professional poker players, financial titans, and household names became Hollywood's worst-kept secret when a hedge fund manager who ran a $26 million Ponzi scheme was discovered with $5.2 million in canceled checks to Maguire, director Nick Cassavetes, and about 20 other players in the twice-weekly Texas Hold'em games played over, well, at the time it was the past 5 years at the Four Seasons Hotel, the Peninsula Hotel, the Beverly Hills Hotel, and various multi-million-dollar homes in LA's high-priced canyons.
Now, I don't want to sound like a naive schmuck here, but who the hell pays with checks?
Yeah.
Like, especially for something, that may be a little on the gray side of the law.
Yeah, well, the same question I would ask you is, who the hell at a game where the buy-in is $100,000, $200,000 is walking around game to game with that kind of cash in their pockets?
Yeah,
you
good
know what I'm
point.
saying? But good question nonetheless, and we'll see how checks came back to bite certain people in the ass. Recently, and this is recently back in 2011, a bankruptcy lawyer representing victims of the fund sued to recover assets, claiming a novel interpretation of the gambling laws. Although some of the extremely well-heeled defendants have agreed to settle, Maguire stood pat until finally settling for pennies on his winnings, $80,000, claiming that a friendly poker game is just that, regardless of the six-figure buy-in or pots that often aggregate in the millions. But according to those who have paid to play, the games may have been extra legal, highly capitalized, and are anything but friendly. Actor and lifelong poker player Kevin Pollak, he never played in Toby's game, but and by the way, Toby's Game, Molly's Game, I don't want to confuse you, but it was called Toby's Game because he is among its highest profile participants and one of its most faithful attendees. But he did play briefly with some of its mainstays, including Cassavetes, former nightclub impresario Chuck Pacheco, now Cassavetes' producing partner, and Rick Scum Solomon, a featured player on the old Fox TV's Poker Stars Big Game, who once cleared Pamela Anderson's $250,000 gambling debt in exchange for matrimonial favors. And he's got the scars to prove it. And might I add that Solomon made internet history getting his knob gobbled by one Paris Hilton on camera a half a decade earlier. Quoting Kevin Pollak, Nick Cassavetes is one of the most dangerous players I've ever seen at a table. You have to have a certain level of fearlessness along with savvy. If you add in a reputation and deep pockets, that makes someone dangerous. Playing in a regular game that suddenly went from $1,000 buy-in to $5,000 virtually overnight, he found himself across the felt from Cassavetes and the others in what was now a full contact sport. Quote, it was like being surrounded in the Old West by the best gunslingers in town. And I'm the sheriff or something, says Pollak, who was the original host of the long-running Celebrity Poker Showdown show on Bravo. I was like, we're going to need a bigger boat to get out of this. I only played with them for 3 weeks, 3 games, and then I said, I'm done kidding myself. You guys are insane. You see, to them, it's all relative. They play in their regular game, that would be Toby's game, and this is how they play. It's a tactic, an investment in the future. Nick actually pulled me aside. I got up to go to the restroom, and when I came out, he was waiting for me. He took me into a side room and said, dude, you've got to lighten up. You could kill this game if you stop being so upset about everybody playing like dicks. This is how we play. And you should be killing these guys because half of them don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just know how to play like a dick. You actually know how the game works. So stop being so pissed off at everyone for overbetting 3-deuce offsuit and take their fucking money. I love Kevin Pollak. I put him on the cover of a Poker Lifestyle magazine some years back, and we used to pal around occasionally with the Hollywood creative crew born out of the motion picture Usual Suspects, Christopher McQuarrie, the writer, Benicio del Toro, the actor, Gabriel Byrne, the fine actor, et al. But Pollak came out with a memoir years ago in which he allowed McQuarrie, in a tribute to Pollak's quick wit, to completely mischaracterize a bachelor party that was actually his own. In a complete pussy move, my old pal McQuarrie made it seem like his anecdote referred to someone else's bachelor party, and I'm here to set the record straight. After all, I organized said bachelor party, and, of course, tasked with such an event, I do not fuck around with its history. McQuarrie's cover story for his bride-to-be, Heather, was that we're all going go-karting. Actually, I had a stretch limo pick up the groom and his entire entourage and proceed to a Hollywood corner where the driver would pick up porn star Selena Del Rey, posing as a street prostitute. To follow, dildo